Vincent. My name is Timothy Y. Begaye Jr. Although I don't know anything to the chin, show to Bob, but she's chin co. Because I was thinking, the whole season is dish answer. I don't know dish. Logically, back in 1989, when government development itself had what shit. I just stand there and call it the ecology in this hall. She managed to continue and did up and the Allah could all he managed to say, as you was the he washed on state of his call. He shan't with that call. I don't can't catch and could all his ass negative. I see that enough color could open and she could all he cut off. He Washington, she said, oh, it's said that the little lad under the little I see Nigeria, then died. I could not dish because he did magic with Michaela, Shirley could all Yahod Nagi, JD Washington, J. Hashin, so LG Abdin, Ibnato, community development, Yanagi, Yashin, Subdate, or Haradi, Linson, or Yahod Nag, Shani, what I call. I couldn't Jilla Abanite, I get you, could on Hatchin Bedate. Dick and Hatchin Kadona, Nana Kahagi Hashin, so in the Ado Yaidasti, to Cushing at the high sea echo. A conde, a large in education, yet. Drink his bars and a good your Toja Hahozo, Doja Hahozo, Gidre, but has only the Hallo. Drink hit Arizona, G. With a lot of our school is public school. They are doing a call. Ni bars on ni Hatchin Kodo, Benatni Tindo, they did it. He had Ajibito, yes. Adon, he Washington, don't be told, yes. Ye does, I did Ninny at Anhanan as a Benage, your host Doje has on about the Haloko. A question at the Sanjundo list. And that's something that maybe you can look into. I know it's been a attempt right now, and the Board of Education doesn't. AJ Hashin Soina Lish. Aj Chinina had all Arthur Chin, but Bahazan did no. So Ajigi Yeben Lish with Hashin so Aj went to incorporate that into our education. Though Ilya go Ani with aid of this own Hachin, late order in sick case, so there's Ajaban $10. Ani Kodo, Mr. Irvin, he talked about that a little bit, that a lot of our young people are not aware of how our government was formed, who our former leaders were like, he mentioned like Thomas Star, and then same Adakai and Kuyoshin. There's several leaders that we have, we don't really know them. And I remember I did a study on government, and I had to go back, and there's some leaders that we're not familiar with. The only people that really stand out are like Raymond Nakai, Peter McDonald, Peterson Zaw, Adwashtan, AI, Sitchet about it. And later, what I tend to better is the question that Yavala. Chida, I remember Chida, she in the first, our first leader, Trouble Chairman. So, and a lot of that has to do with our education. Do I say Benatina, do I think Hachim Benatina, the Yen, the without Yen, and later, not only than does Nido, totally neither. Benage is not within our education system. So that's something that you might want to look into. So, and there might have to be some laws that have to be changed to allow that to be brought into our education. It is Shangat Abe Hastila. So, yeah, thank you.
Did you want to respond, Michaela, or you're all right? Question?
Here last Kahasi so Kodo Nahas Chinda Noslini. I see Belaganik Etsaho Kosko. The Quishi became here Dachago Ecuador than he seen needs are not so sabito, and later at the hot in Dane. Ogodik Adeya Ne Nizit de Kago. Hardest later and has tweeted on his Yazzie ye hinanane stadashtakhan zashapendi kraku kodo epi khati kha. That's the question. Kot au e yakon nahatra. A koko nahat ahagi e ya e behta anitle. Washington petit nenegi e lecha achbejade ocholie. Nihin nahat behta anitlini e beshbans an nahat tragun nahaz tragun e. Kode nahat tranegi e de behta anitlini. Di behta anitlini strasilo. Kojela hund in kojito kwebetrakito jodine. Ogodina ide desh kitigi e ya e. Nle hutsago. Benahat yesa dan ligu ye tahdeine. Di keya nle ntahaz kaje todes di deta dona kin lo tontiel keya belike tahiti ka biyeke. Anil so ekut ego e ya e nihina hat nlini eketes nago pe saanit lego kewit e United States. Hutsa hat huis togot a konanat di hos doje kewit ini yo toje di cheset ko ado at huis a di dena ite desk li estrasin lo. Di na od lagi nashin na Jonne klote kojigi e ya en od like ado best on e kut ego ho astoli jokut au ipa akutanitsen akoti en he dona kin lego a helan hasan shma ado shtra ya deskiltine ashisla Dik a kompasa holo peso she kut au na shai she etra nana shida kut au nana shikut au insta kwaige penina go as adol yes nenigi khashit au is adol yes she to shida trasilo. There's this business of church and state. The question, as far as we're concerned, the nani tlini dos lashit asadi salada lashit do salada. So begin hollo so betsozen hollo the bedo si khashitsada so nan set ande digit a khut e ya neil yet nani tlini khashit au e di khut au adol listigi pasa hollo ako ebene na e kwa khaz anigi. How do we do that is my question on church and state, because this is interwoven as we live it from day to day. And my name is Milton Bluehouse Senior. Kilchin in Slovenarani, Bashichin, Ero da Tochane, Tutsone Eda Shinale, Ado Hehenachania. Thank you.
Did any of the panelists want to try to answer that question?
Let me try. Well, all I heard was basically church and state, but the idea of the life philosophy, there's enough, which is the Navajo, which is this idea of the circle of life and living, according to, developing the resources. That's one way. But then the Judeo-Christian concept, the Old Testament, the Jewish people have that same idea, but they're using the concept of the Christian God, to organize their lives by. So, there's similar teachings there, but I call it a philosophy rather than a religion, because it's just an idea as to how to organize life. And then the other one's a little bit more complex, because then I'm talking about meditation, and meditation really is just calming the mind. It's like inside of us there's a mountain lake that when it's perfectly calm, it's like a mirror that can perceive the world, or the invisible world. But you have to calm that mind down. But if we're distracted by material stuff, then it's like a wind that just blows over the lake and it's all choppy, we can't see anything, and we say, oh, it doesn't exist. So, but all types of prayers, you know, it doesn't matter what religion it is. It's just, you know, as long as you can focus the mind, and then there's different teachings that tell us how to interpret our experience. So, you know, different peoples, you know, they use sound, they use drumming, they use candles, they use prayers, they use prayer beads, repetitive prayers, they use prayer beads, you know, they kind of get the mind into a repetitive state, so that in that repetitive state, you know, they're just kind of calming the wind down. So that's the basic idea, you know, that's like the vision quest. You know, the vision quest is going out and calming the mind down and not be distracted with stuff. But there has to be, you know, maybe some way to address this, because I know that I've heard people say that, you know, I don't want my kids learning this because I'm a Christian. You know, I don't want them to learn about Navajo teachings because that's not, you know, that's not our way of belief. It is a sticky issue.
Thank you. Just whet your appetite on these issues. Our next panel is going to go more into it. It'll be exciting. I imagine there's going to be a lot of commentary and questions on that. I believe our lunch is ready. We have lunch provided for the first 100 people who show up. So if you start forming a line now, you'll need it, because the next panel you're going to have to do a lot of abstract thinking. This is the Dene Policy Institute's panel, so it'll be exciting. During the course of our lunch, our speaker, after you're all settled and you get your food and all of that, our speaker Winona Benali Baldenegro will give us a few words on kind of picking up, I think, where Mr. Begaye left off about kind of these two communities, where the youth fit in, where elders and older people fit in, and how we work together on coming up with answers to government reform and other things, cultural reform, cultural preservation. So go ahead, go get your lunch, and we'll return here about 12:30, and then we'll start our next panel on time at 1 o'clock. Thanks.